So really redefining what success looked like on my own terms was honestly probably the number one thing that I had to shift and change so that I no longer felt that constant weight of proving my worth through numbers. Welcome to The Creative Bodega, a podcast about content marketing, Instagram growth, and personal branding for female service-based solopreneurs who want to grow their business without letting it take over their lives. I'm your host, Em Connors, and each week I'll share actionable tips, expert advice, and unfiltered truths to help you create engaging content, connect authentically with your audience, and turn followers into loyal customers, all without the burnout. If you're ready to simplify your content creation, navigate the ever-changing trends, and build a business that works for you while staying sane in this crazy season of life, then you're in the right place. This subject that we're talking about today is very near and dear to my heart. It is about finding more balance as an online business owner or solopreneur and less burnout. I really want to focus today on the 8 ways that I have found to protect my time and energy as someone who has to be on social media a decent amount of time, and as someone who is doing almost everything inside of their business, right? So if you're not familiar with the term solopreneur, it means that you're an entrepreneur who actually does everything yourself. I am not technically a solopreneur anymore. I have 3 people that I have hired. That's probably another episode in and of itself, but I am now officially an entrepreneur. But solopreneurs are the number one term that my audience has told me that they resonate with. And that's certainly what I was when I started. So I am sure, like me, when you run a business and your main form of marketing is social media, you find yourself obsessing over things like likes and follows and sales, only to realize that it's completely draining you of life. That was me last August 2024. I got so down and so wrapped up in my numbers that I honestly think I did burn out. If I'm being super honest, I was a shell of myself and feeling incredibly lost. It was a culmination of things that led me to that moment. I had launched my amazing membership, the Content Covenant, in April. I had record-breaking number of people sign up. I had over 400 people sign up in about 2 weeks, and I wanted 100. I thought I'd get 100, and I got so many more, which was incredible and amazing. I priced it so low that there were just probably a lot of lurkers or a lot of curious people versus people who are really looking to invest in themselves and make a difference in their social media content and in their business. And that meant that from April through to August, my numbers just went down and down and down. And my churn rate was horrifying. And listen, now I'm steady at I think I'm at 225, but that was honestly a real mind, you know what. I felt like I was failing. I felt like I didn't know what I was doing. I felt like a failure, to be really honest. On top of that, I would say my engagement on Instagram during the summer of 2024, as well as just my instant access sales, were the lowest they have ever been. And again, so here I have this membership that I'm so excited about, and all I'm seeing is people leaving. Then, my social media, which is normally where I feel really good about myself and my content, I'm not getting anywhere near what I used to get in terms of engagement. And my followership has essentially flatlined. And add all that together, I decided to go off Lexapro, which is an anti-anxiety medication that I had been on for a couple of years. And I just thought, in April and May when my membership, launched and did so well, I was life is good and things are good. And I don't think I need this anymore, And so I did it with my doctor's approval. I did it insanely slowly. I think I took 2 months to completely wean off of it. And by August, when I had been off for a full month, just nothing felt the same, honestly. Where I really went on Lexapro because of anxiety, just heart racing every day, even if nothing was going on, I found that when I went off of it, depression like really kicked in. So again, there was like this just perfect storm of stuff happening in my life that sort of led me to a burnout phase. I am not one to sit there and complain and say, poor me, and not do anything about it. I am a massive action taker. So I hired a therapist slash mentor, and I started working with her to help figure out what was going on, and how I could protect my energy and set better boundaries and just sort of value myself beyond likes and dollar amounts, right? So if any part of this story resonates with you, or if you've been, overwhelmed with the pressure of social media or entrepreneurship, this episode is 1,000,000% going to be for you. I want to share my exact steps that I take to protect my energy, set those really important boundaries, and keep my business sustainable without completely sacrificing my sanity. By the way, you can find all the details for this episode over in the show notes. This week's show notes can be found at thecreativebodega.com/blog/5. So let's talk about what I did and how I did it to help redefine success on my own terms. So that was really the first thing I did with my mentor when I started working with her. What is your definition of success? She kept pushing me to like really nail down what this was. And this was hard for me because I grew up in a family where success means you have a good job where you get paid a lot. Like bottom line, you make money. That's success. You make money, you can support your family, successful. It had nothing to do with quality of life or quality of time outside of work or anything about that. It really came down to money. And it was men in my family, right? I come from a very male dominant family, and they were actually all entrepreneurs. My great grandfather started a car business, and then my grandfather took it over, and then my dad eventually started his or took one over of theirs. And, they all did really darn well for themselves. And again, doing well, success meant money. So anytime I hop on the phone with my dad, he does his best to understand what I do, but I think it's still kind of a foreign concept to him, being an online business owner or selling online courses or running an online membership. And the first thing he asked me every single time we get on the phone, how's business, Em? And how's business, Em, doesn't mean how's your quality of life? Are you getting to spend a lot of time with your kids? Do you have time to like take care of yourself and work out? It means how much money are you making? At least that's how I interpret it, right? And maybe it's certainly half me, half him, but I always feel this pressure to like tell him how much I'm making. Like, oh, Dad, I had like a record month and I made this much. And when I first started making money in my business, was just like blown away. He was like blown away by what I was bringing in. And so was I, to be really honest. But I found myself then chasing these big revenue milestones and goals for that like external validation from him, because his excitement to me meant approval. And same with my husband, honestly. Like when he saw big numbers coming in, he was just like, oh my God. And he would like tell everyone we would talk to, like, she's killing it. Da, 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 da. And like, again, that external validation, like I'm good because I make money. I'm successful because I make money. When in the end, when I really zero in on what success means to me, it's the freedom. It's the freedom of not having a boss breathing down my neck. It's the freedom of building my own business that means the world to me and not building something for someone else. It's the freedom to be able to stop working at 2:30 every day, go for a walk, prep dinner before my kids get home. It's the freedom of time going out to lunch with my friends on a Friday because I want to, being able to pick up my sick kids from school because I want to. I want to be the one there for them. I don't want somebody else picking them up. Like that's the freedom. So, really redefining what success looked like on my own terms was honestly probably the very number one thing that I had to shift and change so that I no longer felt that constant weight of proving my worth through numbers. So, number one, redefining success on your own terms. What does that look like? Number two, I have since the minute I started my Instagram account treated Instagram like work. It's not entertainment for me. You will truly not find me aimlessly scrolling on Instagram ever. The only time I do is on the weekends when I'm messing around with my kids and we're like just looking at funny reels because that's what the algorithm feeds me because my kids love it. And sometimes we just kind of escape and watch funny reels and laugh. Otherwise, I'm not on there. I get in there to do the work that I need to do and get the hell out. I'm not even kidding. I get in, I'm posting or checking my posts that auto publish through later. I'm responding to comments, I'm checking my DMs, and I'm getting out. So way less scrolling and way more intentional content creation and engagement for me. That has been a non-negotiable. So number two, I treat Instagram like work. I don't treat it like entertainment, and I do not aimlessly scroll. If you have a problem with that, I have another tip coming up that will probably help you out. Number three, I don't follow a lot of competitors. I don't. And if I do because I like them and I know them, sometimes I mute them because the comparison that I am making to myself or my results, it kills my creativity and my confidence. Like just throw it in the trash can and kick the trash can over. Like I can't do it. And I am very susceptible to comparing myself to others as far as like, oh, their reel got 20,000 views. Like, why are mine only getting 10? Like, or wow, their post got 500 comments. Like, why did mine only, like, I do that and it's not good. So if there's someone in my same niche that I'm following and they come up in my feed and they make me feel bad about myself, you better believe I'm unfollowing or muting them. And I 100% recommend you do the same thing. I hope I'm not one of those people, but even if I am, like you have to protect your energy and your creativity and your confidence, mute them. Mute anyone that doesn't make you feel good, okay? Number four, I do not sleep with my phone in my room. I've talked about this so many times. My phone stays in the kitchen to charge overnight. So we head up to bed, all of us at the same time, my husband, my two kids, around 7:30, 8. And we never go back downstairs. So I also don't watch TV. So that's another thing. But I don't sleep with my phone in my room. It stays down there. And in fact, when I wake up and my mom friends, we have obviously like a text chain and there'll be like jokes being thrown around at like 9 p.m. Like M's already asleep or M doesn't have her phone anymore. So she's not responding. And it's like 100% true. I wake up in the morning, I go downstairs. Sometimes I forget that to even check it at all. Like I just start making breakfast for the kids. And, it's just not a part of my bedtime routine or morning routine. That means no endless doom scrolling before bed or first thing in the morning that keeps me in my bed way longer than I should be. And it just helps me start and end my day with a really clear mind. So how do I wake up? That's like the number one thing people ask me. I use a Hatch alarm clock, Hatch, Hatch. I'll link it in the show notes. It is this really cool alarm that slowly lights up my room. And I'm the kind of person where if it's dark in my room, I want nothing to do with getting up. So it just helps me so much to wake up in a really slow manner. And I also wake up to light. Really, I'm just like a super light sleeper. So noise or light, I'm up. So it gets me up. You can have a sound on it, like birds chirping or whatever. I don't need it. The light literally wakes me up. So that's how I do that. And my husband has a phone. So if there's an emergency and somebody can't get a hold of me, they can obviously get a hold of my husband. And then people say, oh, just wait till you have kids in high school. Guess what? I'm getting a landline. I'm not even kidding. I'm getting a landline to have in our room because I do not want the phone to be a part of my life in the morning or at night. And I think it is a part of a lot of people's. And I'd rather read. I'd rather meditate. I'd rather slow down morning and night versus getting all jacked up, like watching Instagram or looking at emails. And no, that's just not me. We have a no tech rule in our house before and after school, Monday through Friday. This is a big one. This includes TV. It includes everything. So my kids know that I shouldn't be on my laptop before they leave for school, and they know I shouldn't be on my laptop when they get home. just like they are expected to absolutely not watch TV or be on their iPads Monday through Friday. This keeps me super present with my kids. It makes our interactions so much more enjoyable. We play games in the morning. We color in the morning. We do puzzles in the morning. They play on the trampoline. They play in the basement. We'll play soccer in the basement. So yes, I have to be more present and active with them, but everyone's moods have just improved significantly when we cut that out and made really healthy boundaries around technology Monday through Friday. So that was number 5. We have a no tech rule in our house Monday through Friday before and after school. Number 6, I set time limits on Instagram. So this is where I said I'd have a tip if you're finding you're just scrolling way too much. I set a time limit through Instagram, through the Instagram app. If you go into your settings, you can just search time limits. And I think I have it set to 2 hours a day. I'm not allowed to spend more than 2 hours a day on Instagram. I often do, and I will get a warning. It basically sends me a warning and it says you have 5 minutes left for the day. And sometimes I'm like, okay, time to get off. And sometimes I'm in the middle of a lunch and I have to say, okay, bypass. This is a special circumstance. I got to keep going, right? So, but that reminder is really a wake-up call for me. Like, okay, you've been on for way too long. It's time to get off, right? It also helps me avoid that endless rabbit hole of scrolling for really no good reason other than the Instagram app is built to keep you on there as long as possible. So number 6, I set time limits on Instagram. Number 7, I set a response time expectation with my members and my signature course clients. So I have a signature course that I run once a year called the Canva Collective. I let them know on our very first call, I am a mom. My co-coach is a mom. Our kids are like the number one priority in our lives. You will not hear from me after 3 p.m. and you probably won't hear from me before 9 a.m. Those are my working hours from 9 to 3. Sometimes I'll hop on after they go to sleep, but it's rare. I really, truly try to get all my work done between 9 and 3. So if you post, you're not going to hear from me. If you post after 3 p.m., you won't hear from me till the next day. And that's okay. Like nothing is a branding or Instagram emergency, right? Just give me time. And just setting that expectation, I always tell them it's honestly more for me than it is for them because I get a lot of anxiety when I feel like people are waiting for me. But if I find that if I tell them up front, listen, give me 24 hours to respond. These are my working hours, 9 to 3. Like then I'm like, okay, they know they posted. They know my working hours. I'm not available right now. I can get to that tomorrow. It's not an emergency, right? So communicating these boundaries keeps me from feeling like I have to be on 24/7. So number 8, and this is like kind of a funny one, but really impactful and powerful. I taught my kids to say, Mom, get off your phone. And you may be like, you're crazy, but I'm not because I don't like being on my phone when they're around. I think about the day when they are going to have phones. And God, I hope that's like a million years away, but they're 7 and 8, almost 8 and 9 right now. And I have absolutely no plans to get them phones. But if they're on their phones and they're not responding to me or they don't look up to make eye contact with me when I'm talking to them, it's going to drive me insane. And I am going to feel like I'm not anywhere near as important as what's on their screen. Imagine what your kids are feeling when they are trying to speak to you and you are not looking up and making eye contact with them. You are basically telling them what's on your phone is more important than they are, which is 1,000,000% not true because you're likely on a social media app just getting sucked in, right? Because that's what it is meant to do. And I have read studies that show that kids' self-esteem these days is lower because every parent is not fully present or will not take a break from looking at their dumb phone to have a conversation or answer a question from their kid. And I just refuse to have that be what my kids experience. So I have taught my kids to say, if you see me on my phone, just say, Mom, get off your phone. And they do it. And it just is a wake-up call to me. I told them to do that. They want my attention. I'm putting my dumb phone down, right? So if you've been feeling burnt out at all, or you're feeling like you're really struggling with boundaries in your business, I challenge you to try even just one of these boundaries this week. Maybe it's setting that time limit on Instagram. Maybe it's moving your phone out of your bedroom. And I'm telling you, that is a work in progress. You will find yourself reaching for it 100 times before it becomes a habit, and then you're never going to miss it. Try muting accounts that drain you or make you feel less than, or just make you fall into that imposter syndrome trap. Whatever it is, I would love for you to DM me on Instagram and let me know what you're thinking of trying and how it goes. I'm serious. People think they're bothering me when they DM me. You're not. Or when they email me. Some people are like, I didn't know I could hit reply to your newsletter and it would be you. It's me. So do me a favor, hit reply or send me a DM and let me know which one you try and how it goes. Let's review the 8 things that I have done to create more balance and less burnout in my business to protect my time and energy. Number 1, really redefining success in the terms that make sense for you. Treating Instagram like it's work, not entertainment. Number 3, don't follow any competitors that make you feel less than or give you imposter syndrome. Mute them if you have to. Number 4, I don't sleep with my phone in my room. I'm telling you guys, that's just going to be a game changer. Number 5, we have a no tech in our house rule before and after school, Monday through Friday. Number 6, I set time limits on the Instagram app to eliminate to 2 hours a day. And that's more than enough. Number 7, I set a response time expectations with my members or clients inside my signature course and membership. And number 8, I taught my kids to say, Mom, get off your phone. And listen, if you don't have a kid, maybe you teach your significant other or your roommate, whoever you need to, or you just, again, set those time limits for yourself and really honor them when they pop up. That's what I've got for you today. I hope all of this makes sense. And if you have any more ideas, please also DM me or email me and let me know what your ideas are to stay more sane in this crazy solo entrepreneur life. Have a great day, you guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on the Creative Bodega podcast. If you love this episode, please be sure to share it with a fellow solopreneur who could use a little content creation inspiration. And hey, don't forget to check out the show notes for any resources I mentioned on the episode to help you create content that feels easy and actually gets you results. If you want even more Canva and content tips, head over to my website, thecreativebodega.com, or find me on Instagram under the same name. Until next time, keep creating, keep showing up, and most importantly, try and have a little fun with your content. I'll see you on the next episode.